Welcome, Chiefs Kingdom. Thanks for tuning in to this Red Kingdom Media production, bringing you raw, authentic Chiefs coverage. Make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on your team. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
This is the Red Kingdom Media Live Postgame Show.
It is week 9, and your Kansas City Chiefs remain as the sole undefeated team in the NFL, going 8-0 so far this year, where the Kansas City Chiefs eke out an overtime victory over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who fall to 4-5 for the season so far. Overall impressions, what do you guys think about this game? From my vantage point, being underneath the lights and the rain and the stuff in this case, it was very roller coaster like this game. A lot of ups and downs. One unit would gain complete dominance and then kind of fold all their leverage and give it up. So thankfully, the good guys came out on top. Got a little dicey there towards the end, but the Chiefs got the ball in overtime. And with this not being the playoffs, aka the Super Bowl, there is no second chance. So they took possession and officially drove down the field and scored the game-winning touchdown, winning 30-24. So I will open the floor up. What do you guys have with your overall impressions for what you saw tonight?
Yeah, so I mean, I don't think it was a good showing from the either side of the ball, like for a sustained period of time. I think we've seen that, and the score is reflective of that. However, I do think that the offense kind of still found their stride, which is running the ball. Kareem Hunt managed to have himself a day again, getting over 100 yards. So, I mean, I think that we kind of found the answer on how to get to do things when Mahomes is probably not feeling necessarily like himself. We've seen that he was dealing with an ankle injury, went down from a non-contact with the ankle. So not only when he's not feeling himself, but when the ball is being turned over, also a la Travis Kelce having a fumble. So we kind of got to dial it back, and when we have to dial it back, I think it's going to the run is going to be our answer. But I like what I've seen overall from the offense. I know the defense I didn't like what I've seen from the defense there in the last couple minutes of the game. I think we could have probably came up with a stop and ended this game 17-24. However, the defense did do enough. I mean, I guess did enough because they didn't have to show up in overtime. When you got a good offense, I guess that's the most automatic defense you can have is just having a great offense. So them getting out there and winning on that first possession of overtime, Baker kind of knew it. And D-Hop getting in the end zone, I loved it. I love what I've seen from the offense. Little lackluster defense, but overall, I think good performance. Happy we got to win.
Lonnie just mad because he lost the pop because he had it at 38. They end up getting a touchdown, and then it played off into overtime, and now he lost his bread. That's why he's mad. I'm happy. Y'all can be mad about the defense. Defense did what they had to do at times, but with them saying that they were going to give more reps to DeAndre Hopkins, him stepping up, having 2 touchdowns, I think they wanted to showcase what they could do offensively as well, too. Now, keep in mind, the Buccaneers, they're not a horrible team. It looks like that on paper because Mike Evans is not playing, and also Chris Godwin as well too. But overall, Todd Bowles, he's a great coach. He has a great coaching staff, and at the end of the day, he's going to get his guys out there ready to go and be able to play. Baker Mayfield is not horrible. That's why he's still in the NFL as well too. He's able to make plays at certain times, and you saw the face look on his face as well too when they lost the overtime toss. He knew he wasn't getting back on the field because Mahomes wasn't going to allow that, and it was great. It was a great sight to see that, okay, the offense can come out here during the time. They did it last year in the Super Bowl as well, too, even with all the problems that we had. But DeAndre Hopkins making big catch, getting the first down, getting downfield. Also, Travis Kelce doing what he does best as well, too. But feeding Kareem. You saw the recipe for success. And this offense can be successful. Now, I know that a lot of people can be frustrated with how they go about, playing throughout the game. You have those, bonehead mistakes that happens, and we're forced to punt the ball, or we have a fumble or something, in that case, some type of turnover. But overall, when they're able to respond and they're able to face adversity, they step up and they can handle that. And the defense did their part, because we got to remember it was 17-10. Clinton, you were saying, like, I don't know what this offense can do if we go down 11, they score that touchdown. They end up scoring 21 more points. Well, 20 more points. Similar to what we did in the Super Bowl in the first time we made it against the 49ers. They was able to come up. So, I mean, I love it. You see what a traditional wide receiver looks like in this Kansas City offense. It's similar to what you can do with the speedy wide receiver in this offense as well. So I'm glad to see that the offense was able to step up. Now, this is what we want next. Let's, on both sides, let's dominate, not give up as many points, and let's score a lot of points and show people that this 3P is for real. But I'm happy. I'm satisfied. 8-0. We back here next week at 12 o'clock against the Denver Broncos, and we're able to, of course, extend that lead and move forward in the AFC West, and hopeful to, eventually win a division and kind of close it out early.
Yeah, good point, Dale. Yeah, everyone, just so you know, the Chiefs play a game in 6 days from now, right back in Arrowhead against a divisional opponent after a very long evening for Kansas City to eke out this win. You're going to have to do some extra prep, because the Broncos are looking pretty good right now and are very effective on offense and defensive both. So that might be another showdown, much like this game was. But to kind of summarize this game for me, it seemed like at either time the offenses pretty much dictated the entire game. It was good to see Mahomes was excelling, throwing the ball again. Obviously, the main targets were the old guys, and we already threw out Kareem Hunt's name. So obviously, those three are the main targets on the offense, and it really showed, because as we've always talked about the Chiefs offense, it's very spread out. There's no one target, but it's always been Travis Kelce, and now they can throw a DeAndre Hopkins name on that list as well, and I think that's very good to see. Pat threw a screw it ball up to him that he came down with, and then found him in the back of the end zone the same drive. So it was very good seeing that, a couple weeks in, first game at home, getting announced in the starting lineup for the offense, that DeAndre Hopkins makes that impression and impact straight away, and he may be that reliable second target that we may need here going down the stretch. So when the offenses weren't just finding the wide open guy or the tight end show, as the Buccaneers tight end also showcased as well, the defenses eventually got their footing once they established their pass rush, and we started seeing those sacks start to total up on both sides for both teams, or just the quick pressure where you have to throw it away and you don't have enough time to get the throw off. So, it was interesting to see that. Todd Bowles does a terrific defense, of course, and Spags on his own. So that was a battle between the two of them. And, of course, Andy Reid facing Todd Bowles was able to get just a little bit more on the scoreboard this game than he was back in 2021. But that's neither here nor there related to this game. So any general impressions about this game before we jump to a particular side of the ball?
I think DeAndre Hopkins, me and Dale talked about it off air, made a case to already get re-signed next year. I think it's like a surefire thing. I mean, this is probably just like early in the show. It's probably something that I could have just said post game. But I mean, later in the post game, but I think he makes a case to get re-signed just because what he is in the red zone, I don't think the Chiefs have ever had before other than Travis Kelce. Single coverage, you're no way you're going to be able to double cover both of them, or even if you're thinking about single covering either one of them. And then when you think about him, Rashi Rice, potentially Hollywood Brown coming back because he was injured, that would just be a ridiculous wide receiver core. And DeAndre is 32, but it doesn't look like he's lost a step whatsoever. And he's going to kill single coverage in a Chiefs jersey, and I love it.
Yeah, and for my film junkies out there as well too, just look back at the previous game and look at what he did in this game as well too. Mahomes, he mentioned they mentioned it over the week. He looked at the tablet in the last game, he see that he missed him, and then you seen in this upcoming game, he's like, okay, I'm gonna go to him in those moments, and guess what happened? He was perfect. Dang there every time they connected with each other. I think actually perfect, made plays. And then if you look back on that touchdown from last week where he threw it to Travis Kelce, he was open again. And guess what Mahomes did this week? He threw it to him this time. And guess what? He was in for 6. And that was the second touchdown in the game. So it looks like it's coming together. Andy Reid mentioned already that, their chemistry and their connection was already looking phenomenal. So just going throughout the rest of the season, it's gonna be fun to watch. And it looks like we have that offense that can put up those points that we were missing prior in, of course, since last.
Yeah, no doubt. So shout out to everybody who's watching us live tonight as we're recording this Sunday after your Kansas City Chiefs defeat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 30-24 in overtime. Monday, god dang, man. Dude, the week's just started and blink and the week will be over and the Chiefs will play another game. So what side of the ball do we go with here? Because we've been saving the defense towards the end, but I feel like the offense has kind of earned their spotlight to finish out the discussion. So we got to rip the Band-Aid and talk about the defensive unit first.
Go ahead.
All right. So 24 total points. I mean, it doesn't look bad on paper, but when you consider after that first quarter, the Bucs were kind of just picking their battles, and like I was saying earlier, they may win a few drives, but then pass rush wins out and it's a punt the other way or settle for field goal in third quarter there, as we mentioned. So what are your thoughts about this defense? Why do you think they allowed so much as they did? I mean, 200 passing yards for Baker Mayfield doesn't sound like a lot. 95 rushing yards as a team. I believe that's got to be up there for
that's the highest against us.
Yeah. After the Chiefs had made such an effort in trying to stop the runs, and arguably I think Tampa excelled because they just dedicated as many different players to it. Their quarterback included in that discussion. If you take him out, then they only got 75 yards. But even then, that's still quite up there for a Chiefs running defense. So, what do you make of this performance, and what do you think the team needs to adjust here this week with a short turnaround?
It wasn't the best performance for the defense this week. However, they did have some key stops in critical moments. And what always kind of messes up this team and definitely messes up this defensive unit that we've seen since Spags has came in, when they get new bodies out there that they haven't been studying prior and what they had the most film work on, they kind of adjust throughout the game. Now, that's not an excuse for how they performed this week, but obviously I think we're having some troubles in the secondary, and they're beating up on our guys that we have filling in for Jalen Watson. Now, Trent McDuffie has been doing his job. You saw on a couple passes, Otten was able to get a couple passes, get a couple first downs, but it pretty much is based off the spacing that they have out there. But overall, you see that they're giving up on some plays. Guys like Sterling Shepard is showing out that typically you don't see have big games on opposing secondaries, and it happened on us. So you see that they just gave up some moments where they had some key third downs that they were able to convert and then shift the momentum towards a way. Now, like we were mentioning, the pass rush was, has always been the key in our success with the blitz packages that we present as well too. That helps us get out, get off the field. But Baker Mayfield is a guy who, if he does see the open man, he will get the ball out quick, and he's not, inaccurate as well too. He will get it to them, and of course, they will make something happen after the play. I think that's what happened with the defense in this particular game. However, they had those moments. George Karlaftis, he is showing that each game he's getting better and better, and that motor is just running and running. He doesn't give up on the play. Had multiple key sacks, multiple key stops where he was able to get back there and get pressure. That helped us and allowed us to be able to push them behind push them behind the sticks and get us in those moments where we were able to convert and force them, get them off the field, and then force a punt. But I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. I think Veach is on the phone. He's gonna try to go ahead and get Marshawn Lattimore over here. I think they're going to make a way for it to happen. They lost their head coach, of course, today. Dennis Allen being fired. They're promoting guys up. They're about to have a fire sale. I think this is the moment where you go out there because they have to sell. They have to. They are, of course, they have too much against the cap right now. They're actually past that. So this is a perfect moment for them to go ahead and go through their rebuilding stage because they're not going to win their division, and they're more than likely not going to the playoffs as well, too, and winning the Super Bowl. So I think this is a perfect opportunity for us to fill that void with Jalen Watson being injured.
Yeah, and you took the words right out of my mouth. I think that we have a problem in the secondary, and it's just yet to get exposed. They're just kind of exposing it already. I know we were kind of in a prevent defense, but I just still didn't like what I seen coming out of the secondary. I think the problems with the run can be stopped, and I think that was the answer today. And the Buccaneers just found it. They ran for 95 yards, which is the most we've gave up this year, which is like it's magnificent compared to some of the Chiefs' defenses that we've seen in years past. They're still on a ridiculously good trajectory as far as a defensive unit. They did give up 24 points today, but it was kind of a garbage time score. And I'm pretty sure if they could go back, they would not be in a prevent defense to end the game. So I think that is a little bit the score is a little bit indicative of what was going on to end the game. I mean, kind of how they played the situation. I know if they could go back, they would probably play it a little bit different, but I'm not too worried about what I've seen from Bucky Irvin and Rashad Wright. I'm not really too worried about that. I think the Chiefs will show up the run. Their linebackers are good. They were getting penetration, but guys just felt like they were falling on the ground. We couldn't keep their feet in. A lot of guys were just like all over the place, sliding, slipping around. So I think that played a part in it too. But I don't think the Chiefs have any problem when it comes to defense or playing defense. However, I do think that we do have a problem in the secondary if we think we're going to put Roland Wallace on somebody like Sterling Shepard and let him go out there and have a day, or put Joshua Williams, who is always seems to be backpedaling and when he's getting shown on camera and never being able to cover his man or pointing to somebody. So I don't see us doing it with those two guys. I see Veach probably getting on the phone and trying to make something happen tomorrow with Mr. Marshawn Lattimore, because there is a problem in the secondary, but I don't think there's a problem up front. They were able to get Baker on the ground, which I love to see. So I don't think we have any problem. I think the Chiefs are going on a good trajectory still. Just need to get an answer for CB2 in the secondary.
And Roland Wallace was the second leading tackler for the team. So take that for what it is. I mean, you could argue that some of that is the footing, but as the weather gets even worse and you play in worse conditions, you're going to have to make those open field tackles. And I think other than a couple of plays downfield, it looked like the Buccaneers offense was screen you to death. And, most of the snaps that happened, we got them right at the line of scrimmage or somewhat after. But there were a couple of times where those initial tackles, or you slip trying to get there, or bounced off Justin Reed's tackle. Those are some moments that you hope that they can kind of clear up. And your guys' point that maybe a veteran cornerback can do that. Earlier, we already had the trade for Josh Uche, and we're hoping to see the pass rush and the defensive line as a unit get a little better. No Mike Dana for this game. So once he comes back, I think the run defense will be even better, and then that will allow for some more rotational stuff. But it's clear that this defense needs like another piece or two. Arguably was Jalen Watson, that important and crucial to the secondary room, and shows why he was a 6th-round pick starting over Joshua Williams as a 4th-round pick, because the talent was just overwhelming. So who would you guys give it as your standout on the defense before we transition?
Yeah, so my standout, I'm gonna give it to who I gave it to in the in Chiefing when we did our pod. Chris Jones. Chris Jones showed out, got the holding calls, was very, very disruptive. I also wanted to say, you mentioned Josh Uche. He flashed today too. To be a pass rusher coming into the system, fresh, to flash on special teams the way he flashed, and then coming in, he did miss a tackle trying to stop the run on the screen, but he was flashing, and you see how Spags kind of wants to use him. I seen him standing up. He's kind of like, he's going to be, I think, the ultimate chess piece for Spags. I think this is somebody that may end up staying around, guys, and coming into like a Micah Parsons role, but that's for another time. But Chris Jones flashed, I think, today as far as the pass rush, disruptive. They couldn't block him. He was picking and choosing his battles. It's kind of fun to watch him now because he doesn't get a lot of sacks. It's more just like his disruption and him being in certain spots that tears offenses like just apart. It's no longer him kind of like getting sacks and strip sacks and fumbles. It's not sexy, but it's like it's very, very effective. And the quarterbacks really like hate it. It's almost like they have to get the ball off faster, or they're rushing. It's like he knows what he needs to do in critical situations to get the job done. So Chris Jones, man, he did it today, I think, for the defense and kind of put them over the edge.
Yeah, my standout was actually going to be George Karlaftis. I mean, you saw he was very effective throughout the game. He was, of course, you see more bend within his finesse in the pass rush as well too, and he's starting to make that pocket collapse, and that's what you want. We want them to be able to move up, so we're able to clean it up in the middle of the field. And he done that, and you saw, of course, a swatted ball as well. I wanted to give it to Justin Reed at first, but he gave up on a touchdown, a couple plays, but he had a couple big hits that I enjoyed. But George Karlaftis stand out for me.
All right, and I'm gonna round it out. I'm gonna give it to Drew Tranquil. Got in there on the sack. So shout out Felix getting on the stat sheet again in like limited snaps. I think we're not giving him enough credit because I think they're trying to slowly progress him, and I think they knew that they could take his rookie deal slow because he was more on the younger side, as the Chiefs always like to draft that way, and be able to develop him more on a slower pace. But Felix is continuing to flash when he's given the credit. But I think Drew Tranquil did a really nice job. He was in position. Didn't see him, miss a tackle or get shed off a block or anything like that. I think he did his job, leading tackler this game, and maybe got to Baker a time or two, and just was a presence. So that's who I'm going to give it to. I gotta do some kind of promoting because here we are live on a Monday night, and we've got quite a bit of viewership on our X account. However, you guys really cannot participate, and this is best as a communal forum thing. So if you guys want to switch over to one of our other streams, so that way you can get your comments read, feel free to do so. But while you're on X, if you want to just open a direct message and message one of the three of us on screen, and just let us know that you want to be on, some sort of a podcast, or better yet, that you want to purchase a shirt from us, please do so, as that would really make our week. So let us know that you are real live people watching us right now. and not just speculate, bots, anybody else. Thank you, Dale, for proving that the comment section does in fact work on X. We may just need some tutorials or some practice on it, so that way we can get more engagement there, as we are hoping. So let us go ahead and transition over to the offense. They much better outing this game, 30 points, but they worked really hard for those points. 3 total passing touchdowns. I'll go ahead and take it, the MVP on the offense for Mahomes and give my point now. I was really happy with what I saw. Other than the fact that he may have been holding the ball just a tiny bit too long at times, or maybe he just had that much faith in his weapons that he was willing to wait in the pocket that extra half second where he thought maybe Hopkins would get open, or Kelsey or Worthy or Watson or somebody, and ultimately just had to take the sack. So obviously we'd like to see maybe half of those next time, feel that pressure and have that confidence to run for the first down or scramble to find somebody downfield like you normally do. The normal Pat Mahomes stuff, you'll figure it out as January rolls around. He normally does. But I really liked his game. Didn't really do too much. Arguably the jump ball to DeAndre might be, but that's trusting your receiver and knowing the type of player you have. So when it's a player like that you're confident in, it's not a dummy play. It's a no-brainer, as it turned out to be. So I'm still in Patrick Mahomes as my pick. So who do you guys think stood out the most on offense, and what were your general impressions about how this performance was tonight?
Yeah, so I'm going with who I picked again in Chiefing. Go back and watch our Chiefing episode. All the 48 people in here, go back and watch Chiefing. It's on our YouTube. Go watch our Chiefing episode. I'm picking DeAndre Hopkins. He showed what he can be in our offense, and the 2 touchdowns that he had were massive. If we could have got down the field when Xavier Worthy got down there earlier, and didn't step out of bounds, I think he probably would have had a touchdown then. But what he's going to do and relieve pressure off of Travis Kelce in the red zone, I think is going to be like magnificent for the Chiefs. I think it's just a microcosm of what is yet to come. I think him and Travis Kelce are going to light it up down there. Being that Andy Reid has some chess pieces that he can move around now, and kind of just take the pressure off of Travis Kelce to where he doesn't have to do as much. I like how he was sitting down in certain windows. I think this is just going to be a match made in heaven. Mahomes hasn't had a jump ball guy. And Clinton said he wasn't a effort pass, but it definitely was an effort pass. One of those passes that usually is picked by Mahomes, but he has a guy that's a 50-50 ball, but it's really 70-20 with DeAndre, and I think we've seen that. Those are 70-20s, and really when you got Mahomes, it's like 80-20 because he's darting it in there, putting it on your body. He gives it to you where you want it to be. So hats off to DeAndre. DeAndre had a day today, and without him, I don't think we win the game.
Yeah, I would have gave it to Travis, but you fumbled, bro. But you had over 100 yards. That was a good game. I'm not gonna lie, but feed Kareem is a real thing. What happened? We gave him 7 carries in the first half. We went away from the run game. We looked sluggish. When he got back involved, it looked phenomenal. Yes, ugly 2 yards there. He end up, pushing the power for a couple more. Get your 5, 6, short down, 3rd and 2, and what? We convert, and we just move it downfield.
So why was he not on the field so much? I feel like that middle part of the game, it was P. Ryan most of that time. Was Kareem like actually physically injured or something, or was it like psychological?
So I really think I said this to Lonnie earlier in the game when we was talking. I was like, they must be trying to preserve him, and because when he got back out there, it didn't look like he was hurt. So when you think about it, what was they talking about on social media throughout the week? man, he having all these many carries. He's not, averaging 5 yards a carry, right? He's like in the bottom half of averaging per yardage, but he doesn't lose any yards. So
Exactly.
he's just wearing and tearing on the opposing defense. And look at the overtime drive. They sluggish. First down. They look going back like this. Like, it's not as much exaggerated what I did, but I see them moving a little slow and gentle, and it just wears on you. So it's not pretty, and that's why people are not as excited about it. But it gets the job done, and that's why I'm gonna go ahead and give him as my standout for the game. But overall, he played. I think that when you run the offense through him, you don't have to go away from passing the ball. He's setting you up for you to pass the ball, because what's gonna happen? They're gonna move up into the box. They're gonna try to fill those gaps. And look what we did on that RPO throw to DeAndre Hopkins, downfield, got a couple yards, got a first down, and extended the drive. That's gonna open up as time goes on. And another person who stood out, who came out, because y'all gave yours, Justin Watson. He actually did something. Had a couple catches across the middle. So it's like yin and yang. It's working. Keep on making it happen. But I will say how the Bucs ran their offense, that's the key to beat the Chiefs. They was taking their time, chilling, keeping Mahomes off the field. Hopefully he has a mistake. He throws an interception, and guess what he didn't do? That's why he was your standout, Clinton. He didn't throw an interception at all. 3 touchdowns. Hey, 3 total touchdowns. I mean, he had 2, I think, right? Something like that. So yeah, 3. So yeah, no interceptions. So great job overall. From the entire offense, be able to step up when they were supposed to. But Kareem Hunt just keep on being the workhorse that he is. That's why we're in the position that we are right now. And Pacheco, he's trying to come back in within 2 weeks. And boy, that duo is going to be scary.
And I just want to piggyback off of what you said. With Kareem, it like you said, it's not sexy, but even 2 to 3 yards, I don't think people understand how extremely efficient, even in Andy Reid's office, especially with somebody like Mahomes, that where we like to draw back and throw it on first down, and if it's an incompletion, now we're 2nd and 10. So, like, that's why we're running it on first down more than we have ever before. We are eliminating that part of our offense. That's putting us behind the sticks already on 2nd down. Kareem Hunt, like Nolan, voids that part, so we literally are ahead of the sticks the entire game. Once you do that, you're giving Mahomes an advantage with that.
And the offensive line doesn't give up as well, too. It's like that's going to be irritating every time he's running within the gaps. He gets 3 to 4 yards, and they're still trying to push. They're not blowing a whistle because, well, are they going to get an extra 3 or 4 like we have seen in previous games? That's wearing out an opposing defense, that front 7. Like, hey, bro, blow the whistle. He's not going anywhere. That's wearing them down as time goes. That's little things that matters within the game. And that's why Kareem Hunt, he gets to stand out for me pretty much all the time because he's a workhorse. They said, you know what, we're going to give it to you 20-plus times, and that's how we win. Go back to the stats before when he was here. You give it to him 20-plus times, we won the game. It's a fact.
Yeah, interesting to me that I guess with DeAndre Hopkins getting such an elevation that the tight ends just did not get the showcase that we've been used to seeing. But maybe that was, Jared Wiley's injury. So things have kind of adjusted how they're treating. Noah Gray didn't get a single catch this game. So that's kind of depressing for him. Xavier Worthy had that, should have been a touchdown, but then goes out of bounds. And he's on the stat sheet for his minus 10-yard rush that the Chiefs ran that play, and the Bucs knew that play was coming right from the start. And what you said, Dale, this offense, it cannot have those penalties or minus plays or any of those things to put themselves in positions. This is not 2018 where they have all the firepower at their disposal and can just score immediately and score a 75-yard touchdown right away. They got to be methodical about it and take some time off the clock. And their defense will thank them for that because it allows them to play the same way and to be fresher when they're on the field again. So I do agree that this team is probably going to continue to lean on their running game a little bit, and it's asking that a near 30-year-old Kareem Hunt stays healthy and is able to carry the ball. But Isaiah Pacheco hoping to come back by the end of this month. We got another short week to end the month of November where we have the Panthers and then the Raiders on Black Friday. I would really like to see Pacheco back, especially if we're seeing kind of some tread on the Hunt tire starting to wear down. I'm not rooting for that, but we do have to remember that for the most part, Andy Reid has always preferred a committee at running back. So even if Kareem Hunt is the main guy, we probably still need to see a Clyde Edwards-Helaire or a Pacheco or somebody else pop in and start stealing 5 or so carries at a time to bring that total down.
And that's why I was going to say, Clinton, it depends how healthy does Pacheco comes back, because Kareem, I think he's coming in the playoffs regardless, because it's like he's your Jet McKinnon, but in a different way. He's not your finesse, got the quickness. He's more so, okay, give me the repetition, give me the touches. I'm gonna get us positive yardage. We can move from that. Okay, once Pacheco get back, all right, Clyde, let's move you up a little bit. Hey, let's have you, P. Ryan, and Clyde work this game. Let's give Kareem a couple breaks. Let him chill. We have a committee we can go by, because when it comes to the postseason, you're gonna put the best of the best out there. And Kareem, he earned his spot, but with his age, what you're talking about, and we know the decline of running backs as well too, especially when they're workhorses like that, they need those moments to get their body back together, get acclimated. He didn't work throughout the entire training camp. He didn't come in for preseason. He came in week 3, week 4, something around that. Like, yeah. He let his body get a rest a little bit, but I'm sure he doesn't care. He want to be out there regardless of what it is. So we'll see how that goes. But we have options. We just putting it out there.
Right, and also shout out to P. Ryan. We love throwing some ridiculous throws to a running back for a touchdown against the Buccaneers. So the trend continues and for many years to come. So any final thoughts you guys have about this game? And obviously, you mentioned it several times. The Chiefs have another game coming up this Sunday where they host the Denver Broncos. Short week. I'll go ahead and just say here, the home of the Chiefs will be off this week as we've got some other videos coming out. But your Chief and podcast will be out middle or later this week. And you'll have more analysis about this game and kind of projecting the upcoming game the Chiefs have against the Broncos. But what are your final takeaways for this Chiefs-Bucks victory and the 8-0 going on to the rest of your week?
Yeah, excited, happy to get a Chiefs win. Always happy. We undefeated still. All we can do is continue to be happy. We're on the longest winning streak in franchise history. Officially with this win. All we can do is soak it in. We're living in a magnificent time in Kansas City. We just got one of the best wide receivers in the world on our team, and it showcased itself today. However, our defense is hampered a little bit in the secondary, but I think our general manager is good enough to find some answers, no matter what those answers may be. I think he's on the phone working on that right now. And if they don't, I think the Chiefs still have enough to get it done. The Chiefs, I think, are the best team in the NFL, and it showed today. No matter if the offense is down, usually the defense is going to pick them up. If the defense is down, the offense is picking them up, and they're going to find a way to get a win. So I think they're the best all-around built team, and it showed again today. 8-0 is what they move on to, and bring on the Broncos. Let's go ahead and win the division early and rest all of our unks on our team. We have a lot of old team. If we can go into the playoffs rested, like, y'all might as well write that 3P. Just go ahead and start chiseling it into the trophy and into the ring, because it's gonna happen. It's only a matter of time.
Great team win. I know a lot of people are looking for that blowout, that multiple scores type of win, but all this is doing is prepping us for the postseason. Being able to win by 7, by 6, or under, getting in those moments. You remember, y'all gotta go back to the past. Those used to be scary times for us, and where we literally have overcame that. So it's always good to see them grind it out. We're always going to get the opposing teams best out of them. It's always going to seem like a Super Bowl matchup for them. But if we're able to keep on doing what we're doing right now, getting those W's, that's going to be a beautiful story for us. But I think us going towards winning the division again and clinching the playoff berth, it starts with beating Denver next week, and then like you said, Cleveland having the Raiders and then also the Panthers after that. During that time, that puts us far ahead, and we will probably only need 2 or 3 wins after that to go ahead and clinch it, and then get that rest that Lonnie is referring to as well towards the end of the season, and we need that. So we have a quest. We have something that we're going for, something that hasn't been done in NFL history. And with the additions that Brett Veach has made in the middle of the season, I don't think it stops tomorrow. I think he's like, we're all in on that. You have people ready for the future as well, too, that you can bring back. You have some OGs that can come in and help us, get past that and be able to, succeed that particular goal. Let's go. I think I'm happy. I'm happy.
All right. Dale's happy. I'm happy. For me, I'm very happy that the offense was starting to have some of their swagger. They were, willing to throw it all over the field against arguably a very good defense. Maybe not statistically right now, but Todd Bowles always has his defense ready to play. And I already hinted at what happened in Super Bowl that the Chiefs were not victorious in against Todd Bowles and a Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. But I think I really like to see that Chiefs offense continue, and I would really like the Chiefs defense of old, weeks before this, and have that team merge, and then we'd be arguably unstoppable. But either one of those units at any given time can kind of make you a little sick, a little nervous, a little, what's this weird game I'm watching? And then somehow the Chiefs will come out ahead. But we're waiting for a time that we can just be utterly dominant. And, if I'm just guessing here, 2 weeks from now, the Chiefs take on the Buffalo Bills, who at this point are still directly underneath us in terms of trying to get that top spot in the AFC and host home field advantage. Whether it matters, who knows? But that is a game that you've got to really circle and consider as a challenging opponent on both sides. And Josh Allen always tends to give us defensive troubles. So let this Broncos game not be a tune-up game, but come into that game with the right attitude and intensity to come out with a victory, knowing that your schedule is going to get harder ahead as the weather gets colder. So that is all the time we have for you. I hope you all enjoyed this live edition of the Red Kingdom Media live post-game show. Week 9, where the Chiefs defeated the Buccaneers 30-24, and the Kansas City Chiefs move on, hosting the Denver Broncos this upcoming Sunday at 12 o'clock noon. Quick turnaround, so we won't delay you guys any further, so that way you can get some rest, or if this is the next day or later in the week, something to ponder and what we considered after the game and going forward. But with that being said, enjoy the rest of your week. Stay safe out there. And as always, go
Chiefs.
Thanks for checking out this update straight from the heart of Chiefs Kingdom. We appreciate your passion, so please leave a like and follow us wherever you tune in from. See you next tailgate, your trusted source for all things Chiefs, Red Kingdom Media.